Welcome back to the ZeroW Podcast, where we talk about lifting, coaching, and more. You can learn more about ZeroW by going to www.zero.com.au. That's Zero with a W. We are also proudly sponsored by Establishment Coffee. Head to establishmentcoffee.com.au. Use the code 025 for 25% off and free shipping. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's what all the cool kids say. And if you're on Spotify, hit that 5-star review. We love it. Enjoy the show now.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back. It's been a while. Hi, Colton. Special guest Colton on the podcast this week. How are you today?
Just a bit tired.
Just a bit tired? You competed on the weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, Big Dog's 5.
Nice.
Can you say his last name?
Yeah.
No.
Angel brought.
Just say
Engelbrecht.
It's Inglewood.
just say Brecht.
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 Yeah. Special guest, Colton Engelbrecht, the strongest 125 kilo lifter ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
And 110 kilo lifter ever and junior ever.
I wasn't really aiming for that though. I wanted to be the strongest ever.
Hey, that's loading. That is loading.
Third strongest ever.
Before we get into introducing our guest, Colton, what we normally do on the podcast is we do some gratefuls. So we'll go down the list and say what we're grateful for. Tom, bro, do you want to start?
Yeah. I am grateful for, I don't know, I haven't really thought about it. I'm doing a CJ.
Gosh. You know what? Do you want me to do mine? So you
Yeah,
can think?
go, please.
I got 3 really good ones.
Nice.
Hit it.
So I got 3 good gratefuls today. So they're a little bit unconventional, but my first grateful is air fryers.
How convenient they are.
How convenient. They've changed the game.
James has converted me. I used to hate air fryers.
My mum used to call me once in a week and be like, do you have an air fryer? I'd be like, no, mum. And she'd be like, you're stupid. You're an actual idiot. She would just abuse me because I didn't have one for years.
Well, that's like, I used to say the same thing to Bridget. I was like, nah, you need an air fryer. She's like, where's it going to go? I'm like, in the kitchen. And yeah, they just make life so much easier.
It's true,
And
they do.
What's the most unconventional thing you air fry? I know you air fry steaks.
Hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah. Well, they're
Really?
not boiled
So
then.
weird.
They don't turn out very nice.
They do. Last night I put them in too long.
Be honest.
No, last night I left them in too long. Yeah, 9 minutes, 160 degrees.
And what? They come out similar to a boiled egg?
Exactly the same. Darling, I left it at 200. It was meant to go to 160 last night.
Yeah,
That's why I
they
fucked
look
it.
gross. And then you can't peel them.
Oh, relax. Hold on. Don't listen to me.
do you put that in water first?
Nah, just put the eggs in the air fryer, 160 degrees for 10 minutes.
Baked
9
eggs?
minutes if you want a soft boiled
But-
egg.
But if you do that in a microwave,
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, nah. So that's the goat.
it doesn't explode.
Nah, perfect.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right, what else?
What else do I air fry?
Yeah. Then another
Like
weird thing.
things.
Another weird thing. I've been making my coffee in them.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. We dehydrate treats for the dogs.
Do you have the Ninja?
That's really clever.
Yeah, the Ninja's got a dehydrate function. That's what
really
Tez and
clever.
John do as well.
Yeah, so you just put like sausages or chicken breast in it and then set it for hours and hours and hours on dehydrate and then just chop it up and it's little
Do we have that
wholesome
setting?
dog
No.
treats.
No? Oh.
Our air fryer's $61
Budget.
from Woolworths.
That's the job. Fries the air.
That's it. All right, my next one. Google Maps.
Yeah.
Yeah, throwback to the Refidex.
Oh, even before that, can you remember when you were younger, when you first started driving and you'd have to stop at a server to ask for directions?
Yeah. Yeah. Hectic.
Yeah.
Colton's like, you guys have maps? You guys have roads? No, South Africa's not that bad.
And my third grateful is sleeping well.
Nice.
Been sleeping very well.
Yeah, good.
Same.
Bridget, what do you got?
I'm grateful for my appetite lately. I've just been eating so much. I gained 2 kilos in a week last week.
Far
So,
out.
yeah.
What are you
it's
sitting
great.
at?
I'm sitting at 60.5.
That's hectic.
I know.
Well done.
I'm
Big
stoked.
dogs.
I'm so happy.
Biggest of all the dogs.
Yeah, I know. This is like
Nice.
almost equal heaviest I've ever been. So I'm so happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Colton, my friend, what are you grateful for?
It's not really like anything arbitrary, like you guys have been mentioning. But it's like
once it's working,
it's a
don't
much
touch it.
deeper. It's a much deeper thing. So I'm grateful for coming to Australia and having the chance to compete against stronger guys, so that I can get stronger.
That's not deeper. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a perfect grateful.
That's what gratefuls are meant to be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice work, brother.
I'm grateful for the Australian healthcare system. We don't realize how good we've got it here because we've always had it.
Yeah.
So Joseph Whittaker tore his bicep at Big Dogs. And in another country, if that happens, it can be a bit of a death sentence. Here, he can get into a specialist the day after, have a chat, get booked in, go get scans today, be booked in for surgery probably by the end of the week. It's pretty good that we can do that here, and it costs us next to nothing, sometimes nothing at all,
Absolutely.
which is cool.
I was going to say, and is that with private health? Because in Australia, we're lucky that we can just get away with not having private health and still be looked after the exact same.
That's what I mean. I'm not sure if Joseph has private health or not. I just know he got in pretty quickly.
It's so good. So good.
Grateful for
How's
that.
he doing? Is he okay?
Yeah, I mean, Joseph's one of the most relaxed, laid-back, chill guys
Yeah.
that you'll ever meet. So he's pretty stoic about it all. I mean, any lifter, especially at that level that sustains an injury like that, is going to be upset about it. So
Yeah.
it's not like he's happy about it, but he's handling it really well. He's very much the kind of guy that's just typical country Kiwi, hardest worker you know kind of thing. So
Yeah.
he just gets on with it.
He's such an experienced powerlifter. He's probably he would have been the most experienced powerlifter at Big Dogs, eh?
Yeah, he's done more comps than most people I know.
Mm.
He's done a
Yeah, he
lot of
competes a
competitions.
lot, doesn't he?
Well, he competed in the IPF forever as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he does so well.
Yeah, free.
You gave me some pickle juice.
Yeah.
To stop the cramps?
Yeah.
Hooked up
Yeah.
the pickle juice. Man, it was hot on the weekend.
Really?
Joseph was melting. I mean, we were all melting, but
Yeah.
he's bigger than us, so he was melting extra
Where was Big Dogs?
at PTC headquarters.
Yeah, right.
But it was like a 35-degree day,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just hot. I mean,
Yeah.
CJ, you've been there. You know what it's like in there. Doors closed, no fans, no aircon, just hot.
Mm. All right, so before we get stuck into some Big Dogs chat and get into more about Colton, you guys got any quotes?
Quote it up.
I'm using my one from last week. We did try to record a podcast last week, but we had some technical difficulties. So I'm going to cheat and say my one from last week, which is being humble doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It means thinking of yourself less.
Nice.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Colton.
I have a tattoo on the side of my ribs that says, "Don't dream your life, live your dream."
Nice.
So-
I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, a lot of people, they'll dream of what they want to do in life, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'll do it someday," but you're not always going to have it someday. So
Absolutely.
just start doing it now.
Absolutely.
Every day, someday.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
James.
I think I've said this one before, but it's a cool quote. The more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in battle. Ancient
Nice.
proverb. I just
Sounds
think
like a CJ quote.
it's often attributed to military context, but has become a favorable quote in sports and martial arts, emphasizing the value of preparation and hard work.
Love it. Mine's a very CJ quote today as well, which is never trust a knight in shining armor, for he has never been in a real battle.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is good.
It is, but it doesn't really make sense because they had ceremonial armor that made them shiny. But that's just autism ruining it. Speaking of autism, Colton.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm one of you.
One of the chosen ones.
Found this out only when I came to Australia.
How's it feel being on a podcast?
I'm just talking. Yeah,
Nice.
It's pretty chill.
Because you've never done one before, right?
No.
You've been asked on a lot.
Yeah, I've been asked by like probably all the best powerlifting podcasts in the world. They want to get me on a podcast.
Yeah, that's
Joe
why you're
Rogan?
on this.
No, not Joe Rogan. That's
Bro,
not, that's not a powerlifting podcast.
wait. You people need to hear this, especially you, CJ.
Yeah, this is Thomas's biggest
Hormozy
jealousy.
followed him yesterday.
Really?
Yes,
That's huge.
Like,
I quit.
Well, him and Hormozy are the same bloke.
I think it's cool, but I've never really idolized anyone, so it's just
Yeah, but this isn't about you right now. This is about me. No, that's pretty cool. All
I
right,
wonder
well,
why. Does Hormozy have an interest in powerlifting?
Yeah, he does. He follows Kabuki power bars.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like the head of the powerlifting club when he was in university.
Yeah. Wow.
You can look up his powerlifting results. He wasn't that strong.
Yeah. Ah, he looks sick.
Yeah. That's right. It's not about what you lift. It's about what you look like when you lift. Colton, we're going to interview you. I'm going to ask you a bunch of really uncomfortable questions.
Okay.
No,
Ready.
not really.
Ready.
People are hungry to learn more about you. Everyone's watching you come up and break all these records, and everyone knows that you're going to break the next record. People are just sitting and waiting for it to happen. But you're not very public about who you are and where you've come from, which is totally fine. But let's give people a bit of an introduction about your lifting. So how did you fall into powerlifting in the first place?
Do you want me to start right from the beginning?
Start from the top.
Okay, so I don't know, ever since I was a kid, I've always had this like thing in me that wants to just be stronger. Not necessarily stronger than everyone, but just put myself in a position where I'm always like at the highest level. So naturally that means you compete against people that are on a high level so that you yourself can level up. So I've always wanted to be the strongest, but not to be better than others, just to be the best that I could possibly
Just for
be.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that like started off with like arm wrestling every guy in school and like trying to win at punchies and all of that stuff. And then it like translated to gym. I got into the gym. I just wanted to get stronger. I saw what everyone else was doing in the gym and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be better than that.
Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. How old were you when you first started going to the gym?
I was 16.
16. Yeah.
So yeah, I started off just regular gym going, just not knowing what I'm doing, just lifting the weights. And then I got into CrossFit, kind of learned a bit more about structured programming and training to actually get stronger, not just lifting weights. And then I progressed really well in the Olympic lifts. When I was 17, I hit a 160 clean and jerk.
It's insane.
Yeah, and then a 120 snatch. And then the guys were like, oh, you should compete at the games. And I was like, oh, I'm not really that fit. So I just focused on the strength parts. And then some old guys in my gym, when I first moved to Durban, I used to stay in Cape Town. I started CrossFit in Cape Town. Then I moved to Durban. Yeah, some old guys in the gym that I used to train with, they said I should try powerlifting. And then, yeah, like met this powerlifting club. And they were like, oh, you should try come compete at this competition. And then I did, and I broke all the South African national records,
Crazy.
which probably aren't that much because it's South Africa. But for me, I was like, okay, if I can do this on my first competition, then I'm just going to keep going for more.
Could you imagine being that guy that said you should try powerlifting and then seeing where he is now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually probably, I'm in touch with everyone that's got me into powerlifting, like the older guys.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I think it's really important to remember that stuff, to sort of look back on wherever you've come from, and because we're all just people, no one's better than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to look back and remember that sort of stuff, no matter where you end up. So, how old were you when you did that first comp?
I was 18.
And what were the numbers that you hit?
I had a 265 bare knee squat, a 175 bench, which was way less than my gym PB. When I was 18, my gym PB was 210 on bench. Yeah. And then I hit a 270 deadlift.
I think I've said this before, but you know, like people like LeBron James, Tiger Woods, they were destined for that sport. I feel like Colton's one of those
Legit.
people that was
100%.
destined for powerlifting.
Yeah.
What-
Actually, before that, sorry.
No, go.
But before that competition, I think I didn't deadlift that much because I was obsessed with squats. Like squats are still my favorite lift of all three. But even though I have a good deadlift, squats will always be my favorite. I think before that competition, I only deadlifted like a 240, and then I didn't really train for it. And then the day I showed up, I deadlifted 270.
Were you sumo from the start, or did you pull conventional first?
I pulled conventional.
And at that competition, you said you benched 175, but your gym PB was 210. do you remember why it was such a difference? Or was it because you weren't used to keeping your butt on the bench or pausing or?
Yeah, it was just a very uncomfortable environment. Obviously, like, powerlifting's uncomfortable. It's a lot more comfortable for me now because I'm used to it. But it was just the fatigue from squatting, like being stressed out from the new experience. And then, yeah, my bench actually got stuck for a few years just because I started prioritizing the other lifts, and that's why it slowed down quite a lot. Yeah.
So you were 18 then, so that was 6 years ago?
Yeah.
That would have been 2018?
Yeah.
So did you do any more competitions before COVID hit?
Yeah, I did one. Yeah, I did one competition.
Do you remember the numbers then? Like the progression from that first one to the second one?
Yeah, the progression wasn't that much for that competition. I was kind of still a little bit distracted by having a girlfriend. So I had a 300 squat, a 180 bench, and a 290 deadlift.
And would you say that from the start, like from that first competition, because I've been talking to you a lot over the last few weeks and getting more of an idea of how your mind actually works and how you think about this stuff. Did you have that mindset of, ascending in strength right from the very get-go, or is that kind of evolved as you've evolved in your thinking around just not just the sport but spiritually as well?
Yeah, it's definitely evolved. Like in the beginning, I was like I had a very hectic mindset. It's changed a lot. It's done like a full like 180. Like in my mind, I was like ready to kill to be the strongest. I was gonna like nothing was gonna stop me. I was gonna like take down everyone. But now it's more just for myself and to like reach a deeper sense of like leveling up. Yeah.
So, because I know now, and we'll unpack this in a little bit, you don't look at other powerlifters and think I want to be ahead of them or anything like that. This is all just for you. This is all just for you achieving the full human potential. Back then, when you weren't thinking like that, were there people that you had your eyes on or records that you had your eyes on that provided that initial drive before you sort of matured in your thinking?
No, I never really focused on the person. That's been a constant thing from the beginning. I always focused on what the person was doing. And I was like, okay, if someone's doing that, then I'm pretty sure I can do more.
So it's just more the principle of like a person in the world somewhere has deadlifted 480, therefore it's possible, therefore I can do more than that.
Yeah, I don't care if it's Joe Smo that's doing it. It was just the number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that clearly only applies to powerlifting, because when it comes to putt-putt, you were talking for weeks about beating me and then I thrashed you. So.
Yeah. Never going to live that down.
No, we won't talk about pool, because you destroyed me there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Where'd you guys go to putt-putt?
Hijinks Hotel in Surfers.
Oh, is it good? I've been wanting to go there for ages.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah,
It's just
nice.
like a cool series of games.
That's cool.
All right, so then...
Someone's only beat me by like 3 points.
Doesn't matter. You win by 2.5 kilos or you win by 25 kilos, you still win.
But that was only also because I messed up one hole.
That's all right. Yeah, I only squatted high once. I lost. It's the same, baby. Doesn't matter. Win's a win.
True.
Well, what were we saying? So you did that second comp, COVID hit, and then how did you sort of manage training through COVID? Did it affect you mentally? Like obviously you were starting to get quite mentally involved in powerlifting. Did it set you back mentally? How did you actually cope with not being able to train during that 3 to 6 month period that everything shut down over there?
I was getting really irritated because it was obviously not allowing me to progress, but I just did what I could. I wasn't going to just like lay down and do nothing. So I did a lot of body weight exercises. Like I would do like 100 to 200 pull-ups every day. And I would do fat man pull-ups. I don't know. There's a different name for them. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What's a fat man pull-up?
An Aussie row. Like some people call them Aussie rows.
Where you like...
Yeah,
you have
like a inverted row.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Someone needs to explain that better.
No. We know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't.
Yeah, you do. Remember when I couldn't do pull-ups and I was doing them because of my shoulder?
Like a reverse bench press.
Oh.
So you're kind of like holding
yeah,
a bar
of course.
above you and pulling
Of
yourself
course.
up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like 300 of those every day. On top of the pull-ups, I would do like a lot of squats, like bodyweight squats. Sometimes I would push myself to see how many I could do, and the most I hit was like 600 bodyweight squats.
Yeah, wow.
How long did that take?
In one set?
It took 30 minutes. No, I would break it up, yeah.
It took 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I was doing that, and it kind of helped me like maintain somewhat of my strength, because the moment I went back into the gym, I did a 260 triple on deadlifts. So, yeah.
Yeah, nice. And so when do you think you had this tick for wanting to be the best powerlifter from the moment you started? When for you has it become like, I need to be the best at this?
It's not really like powerlifting specific. Like, I think it's just sports in general. And because powerlifting is so like individual, it kind of lets the person that wants to level up just in life in general, lets them have an outlet to kind of hone in on every aspect of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's just my understanding of powerlifting. Like, I don't think everyone thinks that way.
No, I really doubt many people think that way. So can you give the people some insight then as to how you see powerlifting being analogous to progression in life and how you think about it? Because I think a lot of people assume that someone who's as good as powerlifting as you carries a sense of arrogance, or because you're quite quiet about yourself, your life, what you believe on social media. If you go on Colton's social media page, you see some lifting. And if you follow along the stories, you see a lot of just like, you're pretty short with it all. You're pretty firm about like your direction in the sport, wanting to be the best. And some people can misconstrue that as arrogant, which I think is crazy, because anyone who's entering, there's no one that's at the top of a sport that's going like, yeah, I just want to do this for fun.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be the best at what they're doing if they're in a competitive environment.
Yeah.
So if you're comfortable with it, do you want to share about how you see powerlifting fitting into your life?
For me, it's a way to kind of refine every aspect of myself, and it kind of goes together. Like, I'm not gonna, it's just a path. Like, it's a path that is allowing me to kind of hone in on everything. So get rid of all the distractions, get rid of all the like compulsions, like worldly desires. It's very like deep, spiritual, but yeah, this is just what I do. This is what works for me. So, yeah.
So when you say distractions and worldly desires, can you give examples of what you mean?
So a lot of people, they'll be distracted by some sort of compulsion. They don't really know why they want it, but they want it. Like, for instance, like money. Like, you can want a lot of money, but what's money really going to get you? Obviously, you need money. Like, I need money to live, but maybe not to the extent that most people are striving for it. Like, they'll strive to have money so they can buy a really, really nice house. But why do you really need a really nice house? Do you have a legitimate reason for wanting a really nice house? Like, probably not. And then same thing goes with like every other physical aspect. And then, yeah, it's like getting rid of all those unnecessary things so that you can truly be who you're meant to be. Like, because if you get one, I'm pretty sure, I'm on the process of it, but I'm pretty sure if you get rid of all these compulsions, eventually you're going to be someone who you were truly meant to be. Like, if you got rid of every single distraction and you just, whatever's left is going to be your like true potential. Yeah.
So it's pretty heavily based on like Eastern philosophy, right?
Yeah.
When did you start taking an interest in that?
The exact same time that I started powerlifting. Yeah.
How did you even stumble upon it?
So I struggled really badly with anger problems and like violence impulsions. Like, I don't like fighting. Like, even when I had those compulsions, I never never really liked fighting. But I had them, and I just wanted to, like, I didn't want to feel that way anymore. So I kind of researched, like, how to fix it, and then I stumbled upon the Eastern yogis. Yeah.
Would you want to be punched in the face by the world's strongest powerlifter?
Probably not.
Do you reckon Colton will be good at jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
I've done it a little bit.
Yeah, he's already done it.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, what's it? Shit, James. Yeah, I'm pretty sure James would be able to take me down there. More experienced.
Well,
Much more experienced.
There's one way to find out.
If my back's bad now, it's gonna be bad when I try to pick him up.
At least, like, you'd be able to put me in, like, a headlock or armbar or something.
Yeah, I was going to say, what kind of submission would you try to use on someone like Colton?
Get to the back.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Or you go for a leg lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what you go for.
If it helps, he's got no internal rotation, so do whatever you want with that information. I don't know how it works in jiu-jitsu, but it's got to mean I'm just going to point out all his weaknesses.
You know what? Yeah, I was actually thinking of that. He's so mobile for a 125. Like,
Pretty bendy.
yeah, it moves very well. Like, it's a proper sumo.
Well, let's talk about that. Like, what? Because I know you have some views, or like, I think one thing that you quietly take pride in is the fact that you're doing this without fitting the typical stereotype of all the people that have done the biggest totals. All the people that have done the biggest totals have been really, really big people. And a lot of the time quite unhealthy, immobile, like singular purpose people. Colton's going for hikes all the time. I don't think you saw like Andrei Milanichev going for hikes all the time. So what do you think is important about maintaining some sense of athleticism when it comes to powerlifting?
Like, athleticism, like, just focusing on the athlete part of it.
Yeah,
I
guess more the body composition and staying generally fit and healthy and mobile.
Like, staying a lot smaller than these other guys.
Not even smaller, but just like
I hate to use it. You're just in shape.
yeah. You can walk up a flight of stairs.
You're physically in shape.
I think that's just focusing on eating the right foods, like eating what you're supposed to eat.
But I guess my question is, do you think that's important? Do you think it should be a focus of powerlifters?
What, proper nutrition?
Staying healthy, staying athletic.
Yeah, that should be an obvious thing.
Yeah, well, it should be.
100%.
I just want people to hear it from the best powerlifter in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be stupid to...
A 125 with abs.
Like, it's kind of dumb, like, how powerlifters, they'll be like, oh, I'm a powerlifter, so I can eat whatever. And then they expect to get stronger. Like, it's pretty stupid.
5 reps is cardio.
But even, like, besides the reps, like, you don't see, like, a professional athlete, even though powerlifting is far from being professional at this time. But if you want it to be, you're going to have to, like, set the human standards a lot higher than they currently are, because that's going to probably attract more attention to the sport when these, like, ordinary people see people actually pushing what the human body is capable of doing. You're going to have to do everything in your power in order to reach that stage. So you're not going to mess around and, like, eat rubbish and expect yourself to get stronger.
You know what's interesting with that as well is that a lot of the most memorable powerlifters, if we look over like the last 30 years, aren't people who have had the all-time world record total. Like, most powerlifters these days will recognize Ed Cohen or Yuri Belkin before they recognize Andrei Milanichev or Peter Petras or Dan Bell. I think not only is I like powerlifting, I like big lifters, I like little lifters, I just like powerlifting, right? But there's something about the strongest person being someone that's more relatable to look at that I think has a big appeal.
That's it. I was about to say, it's more...
Not that Colton's small, he's fucking jacked.
People have more aspirations to be like that. And like you said, it's more relatable. Like, when you see someone like... I think that's why things like... you know, I don't want to say they don't look up to it, but like Strongman and Mr. Olympia, it's so far from what's real and what's relatable that it's kind of just like a spectacle, and you just have to appreciate it for what it is. But with like someone like Colton, like you said, it's like it's relatable. It's like, oh, that guy's fucking jacked from...
I think it's important to say relatable to the average person.
Yeah.
Because people who are naturally big are going to look at people like the Andre Milanichevs and Brian Shaws and be like, yeah, I want to be like that.
Mm.
But the average person's not very big. And so seeing someone who's also not stand out in terms of just their sheer size doing incredible things, I think brings a lot of positive attraction to the sport.
Mhm.
I
really
just
cool.
think that like the conception of the need to be big to translate to strength needs to go away.
Yeah.
Like, even if it is just muscle bulk, if you take two people, they weigh the exact same. One of them is going to be stronger than the other, and that's not because of their size or their frame, because they're the exact same. So there's something else that like separates strength from other people.
If you were to put that something into words, what do you think it is?
I think it's your ability to harness your energy. Yeah. To eliminate the distractions, to make sure that you are 100% like focused in, like, and even if you like, let's say you focused in on reaching your potential, I feel like that's much better than focusing in because you want to beat someone. You'd be able to put more into it if you were doing it for like a reason to like transcend rather than just beating someone, because that in itself is also like a distraction, because that's very egotistical. Like, you're not going to gain much from that. All you're going to gain after doing that is going to be like, oh, I'm better than you, and then what? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it's like better than you at what, or in what aspect? It's like this one tiny thing that doesn't actually matter that much in life.
Yeah.
It's self-elevation for the sake of ego.
Yeah, and then you're not really elevating, and then also then you'd be stuck to that person's standard. Like, if you just go from beating, you just want to beat the person by a little bit, like, you're just going to be stuck there at that level. Whereas if you just focus on fully like aiming to reach the full potential of the human body, you're going to pretty much have no limits.
So
that's why you're the limit breaker, brother.
Yeah.
let's say, when you crack 1300 and then you decide, I'm done with powerlifting, can do my hobby farm, move on to whatever the next thing is in you achieving your purpose in life. When someone eventually cracks 1305 or whatever is next beyond that, how do you think that's going to feel? Do you think you'll carry any emotional attachment to the achievement belonging to you and how it stands against everyone else? Do you think you'll feel anything about someone breaking it, whether it's happiness or I want to be back there and do that? Or do you think that once you move on from it, you truly move on from it and you don't really look at it ever again?
I don't think I'm going to move on from it. I think, like I said, like previously a few minutes ago, that powerlifting is just a path for me to like completely refine myself. So if I see someone else break my record, I'll be like, oh, okay, he's on the path too.
That's cool. That's a really
That
cool
is
way to think
cool.
of it. Because the way I look at it, Thomas, I know you're not asking me the question, but it's like a snapshot in time. So when I think of like someone like Ricky Goodyear when he totaled 900, I still think that was fucking humongous. Even though now it's still really impressive. But during that time, it was crazy. I don't know. Is that
I know exactly what you're
Legends
saying.
are
I agree.
legends for a reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Like, like it's just it's all about that particular moment in time. I don't know.
No, I know
I've
exactly
never totaled
what you're saying.
1305, so I don't know. I don't know if
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, I think everyone's like equally capable. Like, I wasn't always the strongest kid. I had kids in my class that were stronger than me, but I just was going to be stronger than them. Like, I don't have the most genetic potential. It's more about drive, and like, you want to actually refine yourself and get better.
Like having a disciplined mind.
Yeah, it's discipline,
Yeah.
but it's actually more of like putting your all into something, like your entire like heart and soul. Not like from an emotional aspect, but your actual like existence goes into it.
Your being.
Yeah.
When you're training, do you ever find that it's work to apply that mindset? As in, like, most people have better days and worse days, if you come into the gym and you're not feeling as good, let's say, you know, if, a month or two ago you went through a spat where you weren't eating the best and you were feeling a bit low in the gym, do you come in and do you have to overcome battles in your head? Or have you trained yourself to not have that emotional attachment to it where you can just work, and if the work's not happening, you can just say, well, it's not happening and here are the reasons why, I'll come back and fix it?
Yeah, there will be days where like everything's just like not feeling good and things are going wrong, but most of the time I feel like that's like part of the process. So you learn how to access that kind of focus. Like you get better and better at accessing that kind of focus, and that's like you going along the path of refining yourself. You're learning how to get rid of the distractions quicker. You're learning how to access that energy quicker. You're becoming more efficient with it. You're becoming more refined. Like that's the process. And the challenge is, the only way you're going to do that is if you challenge to do that. So that's why I'm so grateful for Big Dogs, because it was hot. Like it was uncomfortable. The monolift was like a shit monolift. And then, no offense to Marcus, but it's just in a monolift I wasn't like used to. So yeah, and all of those uncomfortable environments and challenges, they like teach you, if you fight for it and you like are absolutely determined to overcome it, you'll get stronger and you'll be more refined at the end of it. That was my mindset the whole competition. I was uncomfortable. I didn't like it. But I knew if I just got past this, I was going to be much stronger at the end of it. And I do feel stronger. Like I'm going to, so it's over 1,200 at my next competition because of this past competition.
Well, let's talk about Big Dogs then. How did you, besides the fact that it was hot and uncomfortable and you didn't particularly like the monolift, what was your experience of the competition?
Yeah, I really liked it. Like, it was a good opportunity for me to get better. Yeah. And I think it was a good test of like, because it was definitely more fast paced than what South African competitions are like, because there was only 10 guys. And then squats took a bit long just because there was a mix up with a lot of stuff. Yeah. But the bench press and the breaks between squat, bench press and deadlift were very short compared to what I was used to. I think it was a good tester of what actually you're competing, even though it's not at the highest. It was a very good standard, but even though it's not at the highest standard, like the abs, where it's extremely fast paced, like I feel like it's gotten me a bit more ready for that.
Yeah, for context, on squats, there was a kerfuffle with some second attempts. I won't go too deep into it, but it ended up being that you probably waited like 25 minutes between your second and third squat. Yeah. Waited a long time. Yeah. I was a little bit worried that you might have been cooling down, but then it was like 36 degrees in there, so
yeah, I wasn't cooling down.
not too much of a worry.
I was just chilling on the side. I was waiting. I was getting a little bit irritated, but yeah, I mean, things happen, so
yeah. And although you are currently one of the best powerlifters of all time and going to be the best powerlifter of all time, you still made a silly mistake. Missed the rack call on the opening bench.
Did you?
Yeah. Just throw it straight back in there.
That was pretty stupid. So I was like waiting for that guy to say it, and I thought it took so long to say, but then I watched the video and I was like, oh shit, I just put it straight back.
It was one of those ones where it's like slowly drifting back and you're like, oh, does he realize? And then it just goes in. So what then happened on deadlifts? Because a lot of people have seen the videos but don't have the full story. Like the video that we posted, you've got a 465 squat, 260 bench, and they both look hard, and then this really easy 430 deadlift. So that was actually your opener. What then happened?
Yeah, I ripped my thumb super bad. And then it ripped in such an unusual spot as well, like right at the top, like in the middle of the thumb. Normally it just rips just above the crease, the thumb crease. So I'm pretty sure that's because I had an air bubble in there from my 470 training attempt, and then I didn't get rid of it, or I thought it wouldn't really affect anything because I never ripped there, so I didn't think about it. But I think it's also just due to not having enough experience with a very sharp knurling, because the the Texas Power Bar that I have in South Africa. It's very smooth, so you can grip it, and you'll probably never rip unless you're really stupid about your hand placement. Like I'll never rip on that bar where I ripped on Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, so the 460 came up to lockout, and that would have given Colton 1185 for the all-time total. And then
Far out.
Just at lockout, ripped that little bit off.
No.
And then had to make a decision of like trying to do it with a ripped thumb, which probably wasn't going to work, or try tape. So we taped it up, but the tape didn't really work. Colton's never used tape, and
it was actually silly. Like I when I put the tape on, I didn't think about it because I don't have experience with tape, but I thought about it afterwards. And if I tried to grip the bar the same way I gripped the bar without tape, which I didn't think worked because it made my thumb a lot thicker. I probably could have gripped the bar a lot higher on my thumb because the tape would have protected my thumb. You don't grip high on your thumb with hook grip because it'll rip your thumb. But with the tape, I probably could have gripped that high, so I probably should have tried.
What kind of tape did you use? Did you use like the rigid strapping tape?
Nah, it's like a specific hook grip tape.
Yeah, I was going to say, because lots of people just use the wrong tape and they use like that rigid stuff. I got stuff in my bag that's like real stretchy.
Yeah, it's that stuff. It's really wide. It's quite grippy as well.
Yeah.
But just no experience with tape.
And then I was also thinking, I don't have any experience with tape. This is just my thought process afterwards. If you kind of like angled the tape more vertical to my thumb instead of horizontal, it would have like pulled a lot less because it was going to pull like against the long strip of the tape instead of to the side. So, but say all the stuff now, it doesn't really matter. I missed the lift, but you can try it again.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Once something tears like that, it's pretty hard to come back no matter what and keep it together. Like once the integrity of the skin's been torn apart like that.
Yeah.
It was a good day. It was a very hot day. You did really well, man. Held it together really well, given the circumstances.
I love, it's just another thing. It's like you're such a great lifter. Like you're actually really good at the skill of squat, bench, and deadlift. It's kind of cool seeing like such a huge total go down, but also being undeniable. Because, how many world records do we see that like, oh, that bench was touch and go? Or, we've got huge opinions. But I feel like what Colton did, it's like, oh, that's undeniable. Like, squat was good. Bench pause was good. Deadlift was good. Like, there was no, like, soft knees and soft... it was like, it was undeniable. I thought it was undeniable anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty honest with my lifting. So I thought my 465 squat was like borderline. I think I could have sunk it a bit more, but I felt very uncomfortable. I don't think I set my feet very well, and I think they were a bit more forward facing than I'm used to, or whatever. But I think I could have gone like maybe like 2 centimeters deeper. Yeah, but it's borderline. It'll pass in any competition.
Yeah, as long as it's under, it's good.
Maybe not at the pro though. Right?
Yeah,
or the abs.
Basically, if Bridget and Meg say it's okay, it's good.
Yeah, Meg said it was okay, but I'm pretty sure she's having like second thoughts.
So your ass has to be touching the floor. Right.
Yeah, I think she just said okay because she thought I was going to be like extremely sad after missing the record.
all the warm ups above 300 in the back room, even though there was only 2 warm ups, they were both good. They were both well under. I watched all the attempts from the front.
I think my 460 was pretty solid. That was a pretty solid one, yeah.
Can I ask some questions about warming up? What does warming up look like when you're that strong? So the other day you did 340 in here as your deload squat, bare knees.
Yeah.
How does your warm ups work for? What was your opener for squat? 420?
430.
430. Like, how do you get there without getting too tired? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I take pretty big jumps. Just because now that I'm more experienced and I know what my body kind of does.
So what do your jumps look like? Is it like the conventional jumps where like Tom Bro would go red, 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 or do you go bigger than that?
No, so I'll do like I'll do 75, and then I'll go to 120, and then I'll go to 220, and then I'll go to 300, and then I'll go 350, 400.
And 350 is bare knees.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
So you just skip the 3 reds?
Yeah. because
that's pretty
like,
cool. Well, that's wild. Wait, so you go 200, then you go 250.
Because I do majority of my warming up outside of the squat.
Yeah.
Like I get my body ready outside of the squat. And then when I'm squatting, I'm pretty much already warm. And all I'm doing is just getting my body used to the movement.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Have you ever skipped 3 reds?
No.
That's fucked.
I'm not that strong.
No, but I still remember, like, that's what I mean. It's so like I can't comprehend it, so it's different. Like, I still remember when I first started skipping 150 and going red. And I remember thinking that was huge. But then I couldn't quite bridge the gap between, I really wanted to look forward to the next one where I'd go 170, 220. But I still went 170, 205, 220. So I don't know, I think it's just cool hearing how the, the elite.
I think that's just a mental
warm-up.
thing. That's just a mental thing. Like,
Oh, no, it's definitely a strength thing, brother.
like
Wasn't that strong.
if your PB is 240, you can probably jump from 170 to 220. And then it's just the fact that you're already warm. Yeah.
No, 100. I agree. It's like warming up from a physiological perspective is just getting blood flowing, priming positions. Technically, once you are quote unquote warm, you should just be able to jump to a max weight or a top set. We do the jumps to sort of condition our mind to be like, it's a little bit heavier. It's a little bit heavier.
Well, that's it. I always, I know it sounds shit, but I say this to all my clients. Like, once you get under the bar, for me, when I used to squat or whatever, it would just be singles. Like, I'm already warm. It's just practicing the skill from there.
Yeah.
So what's next? The abs in April?
Yeah, the abs in April.
And what are the plans for next year in general?
What do you mean, powerlifting related?
Yeah.
Or with the numbers?
No, as in competitions.
Yeah. It'll be all 3 of the abs competitions. I'm gonna get all 3 of the belts. I'm not gonna say I'm hoping to get all 3 of the belts like the abs franchise lifters do, because I total like pretty much 100 kgs more than all of them. So I don't see like any chance that I'm not gonna get all 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The unified champion. That's cool.
Do you have eyes on particular numbers next year?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to increase my squat by only 5 kgs compared to this last prep where I increased it by 25 kgs. That's just because I want to focus on getting my technique right so I can avoid getting injured. I want everything to move really smoothly now that I'm getting to like the heavier weights. I want to really focus on my bench press as well to get my technique up, because it's a lot more behind compared to my squat and deadlift. And then I want to hit at 470 squat, 280 bench, and a 480 deadlift. And I'm pretty sure if I have practice with a bar that has a sharp knurling and I learn how to work around it and condition to it, which I'm going to have to, I'm not going to rip again in competition. Like, I'm never going to rip again in competition because I've ripped twice and it's really annoying. So I'm going to practice really hard and I'm never going to rip again.
Do you know what deadlift bar they use at abs? They use at Texas?
Yeah, it's Texas.
Where are all the abs series events?
In Dublin.
Oh, they're all in Dublin.
The one is in America. I'm not too sure where it is. I think it's
in Utah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's in October.
Mm-hmm.
So there's April, August, October? Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
What's the August one?
I think that's the pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
And April is like
The Clash.
Clash.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the pro and the Clash for those listening at home?
I don't even know, actually.
Don't know. You're just going to go win regardless.
Well, the powerlifting world is regarding these belts as something special, so I'm going to take all the belts.
Yeah, nice.
How do the belts work? Do you have to give them back after a year?
So it's like a floating trophy.
Yeah.
So you win it 1 year, and then you have to defend it and keep in order to keep it. But I'm just going to win it 1 year and then probably give them back next year.
Nice.
Just because I can say that I've done it, you know.
Well, yeah, you can retire your belts instead of having to defend them.
But I'm always like, I'm an opportunist, so if like things happen and I like it's like enticing to compete at the abs the second year, then I'll do it. Like if it's a good platform to set records that I want to set, then I'll do it.
just change topics a little bit. So as you get better and better at this, more and more eyes are on you. There's probably a lot of up and coming lifters that are really interested to hear from you. What would be some of your biggest pieces of advice for lifters that are trying to come up in powerlifting?
Like lifters that want to get into powerlifting or that want to get stronger. Like
That want to get stronger.
Younger lifters that want to get stronger.
That want to be the best powerlifters they can be.
I'd say like focus on your mindset and like reinforce your conviction, like why you want to get stronger, why you want to put yourself through this sort of thing. Like if you're doing it to get attention, like if you want to just get attention on social media and you're doing that for like fame, you're going to be very unsatisfied at the end of it, because I'm pretty sure most powerlifters that have the famous powerlifters that have reached fame, I'm pretty sure they would give all of that up in order to be the strongest powerlifter. Like in my opinion, I think they're unsatisfied. Like I'm talking about the influencer powerlifters. I'm pretty sure now that they've experienced it and they know what it's about, they'll give up all of it to go back and focus purely on getting stronger. Maybe, I don't know. But I'd say like they would need to get their mindset right, focus on getting stronger, like focusing on the competence. You can have a personality, like that's something I'm working on. You obviously want to be entertaining because it's good for the sport. But I'd say like focus on the reps. Don't always max out the whole time. Like build your volume strength and actually build strength instead of just testing your strength all the time.
Do you think with the mindset side of things that it's just a case of thinking about it, like being introspective and self-reflecting, or do you think people need to do some research or get guided on how to do that? Or do you think it's just something that you either have or you don't?
No, you have to be guided on it, I'm pretty sure. I would never be where I am now if I didn't, if I haven't watched like hundreds of yogi videos. And it sounds stupid, like, oh, it's a yogi video, but it's not, because they explain things in a way where you like don't really even think about that sort of stuff because you're so distracted by all of the stuff that they're talking about. You don't think about what actually matters. Yeah.
I don't think it's stupid. It's obviously working.
No, but yeah, it is. Yeah.
It could. Good. No, I think there's a lot of value to take away from that. I think people do think that being elite is easy because they watch people like you doing it and they don't actually see all the actual work that goes into being as strong as you are. It's not going to the gym and then going home and just stuffing around. There's a lot of external mental work that goes into being the strongest version of yourself.
Yeah. And then powerlifting is obviously very hard, but if you just see it in that light and it's like, oh, it's so hard, why am I doing all of this stuff? And like, it's hard because it's like trying to teach you something. Like it's hard for a reason. It's hard so that you can learn how to not make it so hard, like learn how to overcome it and be stronger. Yeah. But for the younger guys, probably just outside of the spiritual aspect or the mental aspect, just keep doing reps and push your reps and don't always max out the whole time.
Don't be an Instagram lifter.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably just a preference, but if you want to actually get stronger, the way to do it is to do your reps. Yeah.
Right. Can you guys think of any other questions you want to ask Colton?
Yeah, actually. I want to ask you about your nutrition. Because I saw you eating about 4 kilos of rice the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, what does nutrition look like for you?
In prep, it's like very up and down. I kind of lose my appetite slightly towards the end, but that's due to various reasons. I try to mainly hit certain macros, so I don't really focus too much on the flavor of things or stuff like that. I just have to hit certain macros, that's all. Yeah.
What are your macros?
I try to aim for 300 grams protein. I've been eating 300 grams of carbs this prep.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I need to bump that up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna aim for 500 in my next prep, or from now on, like when I go back home, and then I try to hit 180 grams of fat.
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go.
lot of milk and a lot of yogurt.
Yeah.
Well, because I was thinking, I tracked my carbs the other week. Yeah, and I eat around 500 grams of carbs a day. So
Nice.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
How much fat do you have?
Probably about 80.
80. Yeah, I'll probably make it up with the fat.
Yeah. Wow.
Have you found it historically hard to put on weight?
I haven't tried to really put on weight, but when I do try to bulk for a competition, I find that hard. But I've kind of just let my body like do what it wants to do. Like it wants to get bigger, so I'm just letting it get bigger. It'll probably take me a year to 2 years to fill out the 125 class, because in the morning during most of this prep, I weigh 118.
Yeah, and you weighed in at the comp at like 120.2.
Yeah.
Maybe 122 on the day or something.
Yeah.
Probably 115 after sweating for 6 hours straight.
Yeah.
Sorry, gang, but I got to go in 5 minutes.
All right. Well, thanks very much for coming on, man. It's been a good chat.
Colton.
Cool.
Really appreciate you. Well done on all your achievements.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it's thanks for coming on. It's actually really refreshing to meet you, and you're a very lovely person.
Thanks.
And everybody around the gym has said that as well. Like you said, you kind of expect a little bit of arrogance from someone who's at the top of the sport, but just a very
Just
lovable
down to
bloke.
earth.
Yeah, very normal.
Quiet. Very quiet.
Yeah.
Quiet's
Alright.
a good thing.
We'll catch us
Good
next
thing.
time.
Oh, we got no quiz?
Nah, I'll save it.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the ZeroW Podcast. If you want more information, head to our Instagram, ZeroW_weakness. Hit the link in the bio for all of our services and any information on upcoming workshops and events. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review so we can have a broader reach and answer more people's questions. Thank you once more.